The hell is that?
This couple finds themselves trapped in a scary encounter. The chilling footage, originating from the home of Crystal and Damien, reveals the twisted reality that lies within their home. Crystal and Damien, consumed by the joy of their recent engagement, were happy to buy the house of their dreams. Yet there is a presence that troubles them. In their quest to unravel the inexplicable happenings in their home, they installed surveillance cameras, eager to capture evidence. The couple is inside their kitchen when the clock strikes midnight, an hour cursed by the paranormal, and that is when someone knocks on their door.
I don't want to keep hanging out with your friends if that's how it's feel. Like, it feels more like...
They don't need to do that. They're not like planning on,
they don't know how shitty it feels to hang out with your people, and they don't even want you there.
They do want you there.
I'm only there
They want you there. They like you. No, they don't. They like me. They're my friends. But they're because they're my, but they like you a lot. They're not trying. That's just how they. Hey.
Right in the middle of the intense argument, a plate mysteriously drops from a cabinet all by itself. And then, as if in response, another plate is flung towards Damien. It's as if some unseen force wanted to put an end to their fight. But if that wasn't eerie enough already, the next video takes the scare factor to a whole new level. It's late at night, and Crystal is all alone at home. She's casually scrolling through her phone when something completely unexpected and terrifying occurs. The door opens, and with the thought that Damien might have returned home early from work, Crystal anxiously awaits his appearance. However, seconds go by, and there is no sign of Damien. Naturally, Crystal is deeply unsettled by this, but it appears that this particular incident didn't frighten her as much as the most recent event. Whatever unfolded has compelled the couple to abandon their house. In a recent video, Damien explains the situation.
Yeah, we're just just outside because it's getting weird in there, and we don't feel safe being in there anymore. So we're just gonna go to an Airbnb for the night, and just for the night, and then we're gonna figure out what to do.
The activity has become so intense that they can no longer live peacefully in their own house. Unfortunately, they are left with no option but to abandon their dream home, hoping that the situation will eventually calm down. Filled with despair, they make a reservation at an Airbnb and spend the night there. However, the next night, they gather the courage to return home and attempt something that they believe might solve their problem. They decide to conduct a seance, aiming to communicate with the alleged spirit haunting their house and request that it leave. With the entire process recorded, they proceed with the seance, unaware of the dreadful consequences that await them. The shower door begins to violently shake on its own, sending shivers down the couple's spines. Panic takes hold of them as they hastily flee from the bathroom, realizing that something has gone horribly wrong during the seance. Gripped by terror, they hastily escape the house, seeking refuge in the safety of the Airbnb. To the couple, staying away from their haunted home seems like the only sensible plan, considering the terrifying ordeal they have just experienced. Yet their abandoned house remains a dark mystery, leaving them to wonder what unspeakable horrors unfold within its walls. With no updates or answers forthcoming, the true nature of the malevolence haunting their home remains unknown. As always, the question remains, is it merely a product of the paranormal, or is there something far more sinister at play? You decide, but beware. Darkness lurks where the answer lies. In the depths of night, a figure emerged from the shadows. Chris Hill, the audacious urban explorer, dared to venture back into the abandoned warehouse. Once before, Chris had stumbled upon a place cloaked in the veil of malevolence, a place believed to be infested with vengeful spirits. Unbeknownst to him, As he scrutinized the haunting footage he had captured during his prior exploration, he discovered the chilling truth. He was not alone. In the night, something unseen fixated on him. Chris shuddered as he felt a cold touch, convinced it was the sinister work of an otherworldly evil. The unsettling evidence captured by his camera disturbed him greatly, and he swore never to return to that place.
I'm back. This is probably a very bad idea.
Yet, despite his better judgment, an inexplicable force lured Chris back to the cursed site. Whether it was the disturbing pleas of his viewers that persuaded him remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: Chris is filled with dread. He retraces his previous path, stepping into the decaying corridor with a sense of evil.
Wow. Yeah, it's still really cold in here. Look, you can see my breath now. Look. Like, that's how you know I'm not lying. But look, I'll do it out here. You don't see my breath. But as soon as you come in here, oh my God, it's freezing. As soon as you come in here, I don't know if the camera can see that, I hope so. But that's crazy.
The chilling drop in temperature upon entering the corridor sent shivers down his spine. It is an unsettling phenomenon, but what follows is even more unnerving. Chris reaches the very spot where he felt that eerie touch. There is a faint light in the distance that is coming from his infrared cameras. Adjacent to the cameras, however, lies a narrow staircase leading to an unexplored space below. Driven by curiosity, Chris goes there to explore and captures the unfolding horrors that await.
It's a weird noise in this room. That's creepy. It's a weird noise in this room.
If you listen carefully, you can catch the faint whispers that would have made Chris run for his life if he had heard them at that moment. But what happens next is even worse. As Chris ascends the stairs and reaches the eerie corridor, things take a terrifying turn.
Really creepy in here. As I walk, it sounds like people are talking. I don't know if that's just the sound of my feet echoing or what. It's really creepy.
Right after this, a terrifying sound emerges from above. Dibris crashes to the ground, filling him with fear. He panics and runs from the corridor. Unaware of the chilling presence captured by the infrared camera, Chris witnesses a ghostly figure appearing and disappearing. The eerie part is that the figure appears right after the mysterious debris falls on its own. Chris, overwhelmed with fright, desperately searches for the fallen debris, his fear intensifying beyond imagination.
This big ass box just fell on this grate. Maybe it fell from up there. Oh my God, my heart's racing. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put the IR camera up here while I explore. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I got the IR camera set up at the top floor.
In an attempt to unveil the identity of the culprit responsible for dropping the box, Chris strategically positions infrared cameras on the upper floor. With the cameras in place, he proceeds to investigate the area, focusing his attention downstairs. However, upon his return to the spot where the infrared cameras were installed, something chilling was recorded. Chris is forcefully pulled by an invisible power, causing him to plummet to the ground and lose consciousness upon impact. After a few minutes, he awakens and realizes that he has been unconscious for quite some time. Understanding the gravity of the situation, he quickly gathers his belongings and hastily departs from the location. Given the recent events and considering the previous incident, it is evident that viewers strongly suspect the presence of something ominous within this place. Whether this entity is malevolent or not remains uncertain, prompting the question of whether Chris managed to capture any evidence of a paranormal occurrence or if there is an alternative explanation. Although the exact nature of the incident is difficult to ascertain, one thing is clear: Chris has firmly decided never to return to this place again. This video comes from a hospital in Argentina, where a security guard was working the night shift. Surprisingly, something very strange was caught on the surveillance camera. The hospital is the Finichieder Sanatorium, located in Buenos Aires. Little information is known about this hospital, except for rumors suggesting that it may be haunted. These rumors gained popularity recently, especially after surveillance footage from inside the hospital captured an unusual incident at 3 o'clock in the morning. While the security guard was occupied with paperwork, he noticed an elderly woman entering through the automatic doors. Without hesitation, he approached and assisted her, as he described. However, upon reviewing the recorded video footage, a different story emerges. The security guard's testimony is flawless, except for one unsettling detail. Supposedly, an elderly woman appeared and had a meeting with him, but no one else witnessed her presence. Strangely, the doors opened as if an unseen figure had entered, heightening the eerie atmosphere. Adding to the mystery, the guard conversed with an invisible entity, never coming into view. While the video itself is creepy, it's the accompanying story that truly chills the bones. After helping the frail old lady and offering her a wheelchair, she revealed her intent to go to the 9th floor and retrieve the belongings and identification of a patient who had recently passed away. But here's where things take a horrifying turn. Once the woman stepped into the elevator, she vanished into thin air. What makes it even more disturbing is that the name the guard wrote down on his clipboard belonged to a deceased patient from the previous day. This leads viewers to speculate that the ghostly apparition of the old lady has returned to claim her possessions. Whether true or not, the story is interesting. However, the lack of further information about the video only deepens the mystery. In a spooky twist, Troy Legault, living with his family and 3 dogs in a relatively new house, didn't think it could be haunted. However, recent events have proved him wrong. Strange incidents like objects moving on their own and lights mysteriously turning on have occurred, but nothing compares to the eerie footage captured on November 6, 2022. Despite limited information, it remains unexplained. No one was home during the event. Like many viewers, Troy finds it challenging to explain the phenomenon. What are your thoughts? As you have reached this point in the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell icon. By doing so, you will stay informed about our latest upcoming videos. The next video is from Anna Tan, who is a mother to a baby girl, Evelyn. Anna has recently lost her brother, which has caused her great sadness because they were very close. Anna believes that her brother's spirit still looks after their family in the afterlife, which makes her feel a little better. One day, while Anna and her daughter were in the kitchen, something incredibly scary happened. It was so strange that Anna quickly grabbed her phone to record it.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Evelyn, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
The video shows a spooky event that doesn't make sense and gives you goosebumps. Evelyn is engaged in conversation with someone, leading Anna to strongly believe that her baby daughter has been communicating with her late uncle. This belief becomes even more convincing when a male voice is audibly heard at the beginning of the video. If you listen closely, you can make out the word uncle. Adding to this, Evelyn repeatedly mentions uncle throughout the recording.
Who are you talking to?
Anna interprets this as a sign that her brother was present during the video. All in all, despite its strangeness, this video is heartwarming. That is enough horror for today. Always remember that we can never be completely certain of our safety, even within the confines of our own homes. So be careful and sleep with one eye open. Until next time.